Ooh, ooh. All right, we're live. Good morning, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. Good morning. Blessed as always. How you doing?
I am great, and I thank you for coming on my podcast. So, what's your story? Can you start off with what is your name and a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so my name is AJ Hicks. I go by AJ. Real name's Arnold, but name's AJ. So when you say about yourself, you mean the whole rundown, or how
No,
much?
just a brief synopsis of like what you do and who you are.
Oh, okay, what I do a lot, but as far as career wise, I work for the government. I help out homeless veterans and stuff like that. Who I am, it's a lot to me. But I think I got a long line of stuff I'm gonna tell you. So I'll wait till you said brief.
I see you got a piece of paper over there.
So, you know, I want you to let me go on that one. So yeah.
All right. So as you can see, it's 8 in the morning. I just got out the shower, hair a little wet, but we're gonna get to it. So first and foremost, can you tell me what type of household you grew up in? Was it a single parent? Did you have both parents in the home? Did
Mm.
you have any siblings?
Okay, so starting out, I was born in PA. Then, my earlier years, I was living in Trent, New Jersey. That's where I'm like originally from. I had my mom, my dad, and my paternal grandparents there. So it was me and no siblings and a bunch of adults. And they say that kind of shapes your personality when you're around like older people all the time. You know them kids that know more than they should know. That was me. Yeah,
You got an old soul.
yeah, old soul. And that was probably until I was about 8 or 9. Then I came to Wilmington, and then I came to Wilmington with my mom, Wilmington, Delaware, and was just pretty much there with my mom, my grandmother, my aunt, my uncle, my cousin, and my grandfather. So, well, my on my mom's side. So,
Wait, all
yeah,
in one home?
yeah. For a period of time, we was deep. We was deep in there for a second.
Okay. Okay, so you were the only child.
Yeah, yep.
Gotcha.
Kind of explains the personality a little bit, though. Like not the negative side of it, right? I don't
Uh-huh.
take the side of it, but the fact that I'm, cool with connecting to strangers, because it was like I feel like only children kind of learn early, like, okay, I'm either going to learn how to come out of my comfort zone and connect with people, or I'm about to just be standing over here by myself. Because most people I notice don't really want to just connect with a random person, and I have no with it. Now, you'll see me talking to somebody, you'll walk up and be like, "Oh, how long you know them?" I just met them 5 seconds ago, but the conversation to be real comfortable for me. So
Gotcha. So would you say that you grew up in a healthy household?
yeah, I feel like we was rich in love when we didn't have other things. You know what I mean? So it may not have a lot of, but it was love in there. Obviously, um, hmm, there became some. Okay, so when my mom moved on her own, things got a little real. Because one thing I realized is, a lot of times when you see a single mother with a son, the
Mm.
son, I don't know how it happens. He almost automatically accepts that like man of the house role. Like it just gets cloaked on him. I don't care how old he is.
Right.
So when my mom, moved out from all those people I named that was living on her own, it was like I was the little man in the house. And so for me, I had to immediately become the protector because unfortunately, there are men that kind of unfortunately prey on single mothers.
Mm.
And you know what I mean? If she's dating somebody that you know what I mean is trying to take advantage of her, that's where I came in the picture. So early on, I
Around what age you would think that was?
I want to say like 11. So at 11, I was looking at like, yeah, I'm the man of this house. I gotta make sure my mom good,
Mm.
and You know what I mean? There was a couple situations where I had to I had to show I was the alpha to some other people
No.
that gonna try to take advantage of my mom.
You
But
strong arm some people.
yeah, silverback on them real quick. You know,
Okay,
it's
okay.
crazy because I look at my father. I'm named after my father. When I was in Trent, New Jersey, before I even could probably say my ABCs, he had me in a boxing ring. Like that wasn't really my choice. He had me in a boxing ring and was teaching me stuff. And I didn't like I never chose the love for boxing or fighting. Like he was just showing me stuff early on. Never stuff that I thought like would ever come in handy at all. When I came to Delaware, I was in love with basketball, you know, because it was like I kind of got a choice. But as long as I was under his roof, he had me, you know, working on fighting and stuff. So I
Right.
never kind of chose to be in that lane, like, you know what I mean, to love fighting and love boxing and stuff like that. But it ended up kind of paying off later. So
All right, so I feel like I'm missing a part. So you
mm-hmm.
said you grew up in New Jersey?
Trenton, New Jersey is
You
where I'm.
said PA?
So I was born. Okay, I probably should have left the PA part out. I was born in PA hospital and
Okay,
probably
born
lived
PA.
there maybe 1 or 2 years. But most of my earlier, like elementary years was in Trenton, New Jersey.
In Jersey. And then you say you grew up in a family of a lot of your relatives.
When I came to Wilmington, Delaware, when my mom moved from Trenton, New Jersey,
Mhm.
to, that's when it was like a lot of us in the house for a couple years. Then my mom moved out on her own, and it was just me and her.
Gotcha. So your
Then
parents were split up.
yeah. I don't. I guess I didn't say it. My mom left my dad. Then yeah. So clearly,
I knew I
to
was missing a
back,
part. I'm like, well, wait.
circle back, to circle back to your question, you said was it like I think you said to use the words healthy. Moms, obviously, you know, whenever there's a split, there's something going on. So obviously there was some stuff that wasn't as, you know, healthy, but for the most part, getting to, you know what I mean, the bulk of it, I felt like I had a lot of what I needed to a
Right.
certain. Um, as far as like seeing a model healthy family dynamic, I feel like no, I didn't see that. But when I was responding to healthy, I was more or less thinking like did you have people that love you type of thing. I wasn't thinking necessarily, did you see stuff that you probably ain't should have seen or wasn't good and all that. So
All of it.
yeah. So if we go into that on that side of it, because I'm usually optimistic, so I'm trying to look at the positive side of it. Definitely saw stuff. Definitely, you know, was around stuff shouldn't have been. And like I said, the worst part of it, in my eyes, is when it came on to being the man of the house type of thing. And you know, not 9 times out of 10, you know, I know I can speak for my mom. Single mothers always gonna do the best they can, like for
Mhm.
the period, but it's only so much somebody can do. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I see a lot of it in a lot of younger guys that come up like early. You know what I mean? They feel like they grew up early. It's just because they feel like they gotta take on a lot. You know what I mean? And it feels like so for me, I felt like I had to be a protector from early, like
So
from jump.
would you say that you were mostly inside or outside?
I was outside,
Okay.
all up around North Side, Earth Side.
You was outside. So you was outside with your friends and were you getting into stuff?
I was outside. I wasn't like whole bunch of crazy stuff because, like I said, my grandmother was right around the corner. She was right around the corner on Jessup Street. I was over there on 23rd, and so you know, my grandmother was probably. Let me show you a picture. Show you a picture.
Okay.
I put, this is my grandmother. She actually used to run the thing West Center City over there on West Side on at HICKS. For the that's in Delaware, they know what that is. Um, so she was, you know, she was like a strong influence on me. But for me, I think, like I said, when I say the rougher part is, it's like when I used to work at juvie, I used to be able to relate to a lot of, you know what I mean, how a lot of them felt like, yo, you know, I'm grown. Even though they're not grown, they feel like they grown because they protecting their mom, they looking out for their mom. Like,
Right.
you'd be surprised how many boys, they don't have to say it, but they just feel like it's my responsibility to look out for my mom when they got a single mom. Or if they, you know, their single mom is dating and the people they dating is like, you could tell they trying to prey on them. So yeah, that definitely makes a difference.
Okay. So you was outside having fun. You wasn't necessarily outside like doing drugs and getting
Mm-mm,
into mischief.
no, no. See, if anything, I was the one that, like, again, going back to the only child thing, it
Mhm.
was like whatever whatever my friends was doing, it was like I wanted them to know, like, I'm loyal to the cause. Like, hopefully the cause is basketball. Hopefully the cause is something positive. But if
Mhm.
the cause us fighting, I need y'all to know I mean, I'm loyal to the cause.
You're not with it.
Loyal to the cause, whatever it is, positive or negative. Like, I'm loyal to the
Okay.
cause. And it was kind of like, because I was the only child, I always looked at like my friends as brothers. I never looked at my friends as just, oh, they just friends. Like, I couldn't really separate the two.
Right.
So it was like how most people will be like, oh man, like I died for my brother, but I don't know about my friends. Like, to me, it was like, well, they are my brothers, so I died for them. So luckily, you know, I didn't have to. But in my mind, in my young mind, I was willing. I was
You was
definitely
willing.
at all times. So
Okay.
uh,
You ride or die.
yeah, yeah. So
All right. So if you were to give your younger self some advice, what would that be?
hmm, younger self advice. Um, Number one, like, you don't have to fight for acceptance, or you don't have to fight to be enough. Um, you know, my relationship with God has taught me, like, you know, a lot of times we do stuff to be accepted by people, right? We have to, you know, go through certain things to feel like, this is what I have to do for them to like me, for them to accept me, for them to embrace me. But God has given all of us a uniqueness to stand out on our own for a reason. And like, so you got this show, you know, you God put it in your mind to have this show, to come up with this show. Like, that makes you different. If you was just trying to be like everybody else, you would just be following what everybody else do. And so for me, it's like a lot of decisions made was like, because a lot of my identity, I felt like, was in trying to, I guess, be accepted and be blend in or fit in, or, you know, get approval. And it's like a lot of that time, to me, I feel like it's wasted, because a lot of times these people don't really know their identity either. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But you can't really find your identity in doing what's acceptable to people or doing what fits into people. I would have just told myself, like, yo, continue to be who you are. If you're who you are by yourself, if you're who you are in a group, like, just be who you are. Like, don't try to be a way that you know, feel uncomfortable to you, because at the end of the day, you know, the people you following, they ain't got it all together either. You already accepted, you already enough. You don't need a person's, you know, co-signing or validation for that.
Nice words of wisdom. So, you have some children of your own. Can you can you briefly tell us about some of your kids and anything that you instill in them?
um so I so I got three: Ariana, Aaron, and Amina. um and I started early. I was 17. um it's crazy when I look at 17-year-olds now. I'm like, bro, I had a kid at that age. um Ariana, Aaron, and Amina, two girls, a boy. I I teach them, like, number one, don't this world has what I call very, very, very conditional love. Um, they they like you as long as you're doing what they want to do. As long as you're doing what they want you to do, they like you, they love you, right? The moment you do something they don't like you to do, they cut you off, they don't like you, they talk about you. And I'm like, yo, you know, don't be fake. Don't have conditional love. If you say you love somebody, that love is gonna be unconditional. And I tell them the same thing with them. Like I'm like, look, y'all might get on my nerves sometimes, all that. Y'all might not even feel me, but I'm still gonna love y'all regardless of what's going on. A big thing I felt like I lacked early on was that like self confidence. Like I teach them like, yo, you believe in yourself regardless of who don't believe in you. Like I don't care, believe in you, you believe in yourself. That's what I stand on. Like, I'm like, yo, y'all don't care if y'all in a room full of people that's booing you, like you still, you know what I mean? You could clap for yourself. You still believe like I got this. So I'm instilling the confidence in them early that you don't need nobody's, even down to me. Like even if I doubt you and you believe in yourself, like you still go. Um, I tell them they words got power. The word says life and death is in the power of the tongue. So I'm always telling them like, don't just say stuff, right? I know how people growing up in the hood, you'll see like a lot of, and I hate to say it, but sometimes you'll see like frustrated moms or sometimes frustrated dads too, and they be calling their kids every name in the book. And I'm like, bro, like you don't really want to
Yeah.
see, you don't want to see that be in their life, but you calling them that. And I believe you can speak stuff into people's life. People ain't gonna be this, you this, and that. And so I'm like, I teach them use your words for life, like speak what you want to see. Don't be upset and speak out of emotion. Like let your words count. If you know that's not what you want to see, one thing I hate when people say is like, oh man, things is always going bad, or if it ain't one thing or it's another, I'm always be broke. And it's like y'all saying these things, not my kids, but like you hear people saying stuff
Yeah.
and you like want to see. So why are you saying it? So I tell them to speak life, tell themselves to others. I tell them honor God and everything because faith is strong in my house. So it's like when nobody's looking, still do the right thing. And I tell them finish what you start and don't quit. Like I don't believe in quit. Anything you start, you better finish it. Even down to the fighting part.
Yo.
I don't endorse violence, but I'm just saying.
Not the even the
I
fighting
told you that earlier. If you go there, go there. But all right, so yeah.
part.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna be fake on camera. I already told him like
Oh, good.
I'm like, so here's the thing. It's funny. My aunt always make fun of me. She comes like, I don't know what kind of Christian you are, because I'll be like, tell my kids, I'm like, I love y'all. We believe in peace. We pray all the time and stuff. But I'm like, I just don't want y'all to be clear.
Like if
Like
somebody try you.
if somebody comes from y'all school and knocks on his door, and be like, such and such in there, and like a bully type situation, like they want to fight you. I'm like, just know we're going outside, and we're not going outside to sing kumbaya. Like, no, I'm that dad. Like, I'm not gonna say God because I know it's not going. I don't know because I was raised like I have different. I was raised to see like certain situations you have to handle certain ways, like certain,
Right.
fortunately, certain bullies aren't going to stop being bullies until, you know what I mean? So I want them to understand the full spectrum of me. Like, and they was like, really? We got to go out. I said, I hope it never happens. But
Hey
no,
man,
I'm
prepare
not
'em.
the
Prepare
dad. Like, why you want to fight my kid? Like, hold on, give
'em.
we're going outside. So I mean, yeah. So
Okay.
that's I am in my pureness.
All right. What would you like your legacy to be?
Hmm. Um, my legacy is going to be somebody who was pretty much passionate. Like I'm not doing anything half-hearted. Like if I'm in it, I'm in it with two feet. You know what I mean? I'm fully standing in it and I'm
Yeah.
fully, like standing on whatever it is I'm doing. If I'm, how somebody is like on the fence with it. Like whatever I'm doing, I'm gonna give it my all. Like, and if I call somebody my family, it's like I love you, I'll do anything for you. Um, my legacy is gonna be somebody that just love people. You know what I mean? Like I really love people genuinely. Like how people be like, I don't like people. That don't mean I don't like my time to myself and stuff. But like I genuinely love people, want to see the people win. And when I see people doing stuff for other people and like you see whether it's giveaways or whatever, people bless the communities and stuff, I'm like that, that's going to be me. Like I want to be able to impact people's lives and do being a blessing to others. I think generally all people want to receive blessings. But I think when you look at how it makes you feel on the inside when you're able to be the one giving the blessings, like to me, that's even a greater feeling than just being able to receive blessings. So receiving blessings is good, but my legacy is gonna be somebody that like wanted to be able to, you know, touch the hearts of people, affect their positive way.
I see. So I see what you have on right now for church. Can you give us a little
So
what
I put
the
this on
ethnic
here.
background?
I don't even know if I'm gonna wear this to church. I put this on here. So here's the thing, right? I've always had a love for the African culture. But here's the funny part.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like I I feel like all right, let me give background. So again, I showed this picture of my grandmother. I've never seen her dressed like this. She got on like African garbs because my grandmother was like, you know, Black American. So it's not like she came from Africa or anything. She dark skinned like me. Technically I'm dark skinned like her.
Mhm.
I remember I remember her sitting us all down, making us watch Roots when I was a kid. Now I don't know if you ever seen
As
Roots.
she should, yeah, I have.
You ever seen Roots?
I
It's one of
watched it probably 30
the movies
times.
where it's like as soon as you watch it, you want to go outside and start fighting white people. Like you want to fight immediately. Like you are, you know what I mean? And so when I think about how many of, my people, my Black Americans as myself who came from, you know what I mean, their ancestors were slaves and stuff. Like when you think that's kind of like the genesis of your story, like it brings like a fiery anger. Like it brings the anger out of you. I don't care how collegiate you are, how much money you got, how many degrees you got. If you think about like your ancestors being enslaved and being tortured and all that stuff, and that's like how the story started in this country, like it touches your emotions and make you feel some type of way, as it should. And for me, it was always like I understand why a lot of us kind of walk around feeling like, yo, you know what I mean? That wasn't right. It was messed up. This and that. But I have a lot of friends. Like I said, I don't call them friends. I call them family now. But people that I've met that were not born here, that are from Africa, and just seeing how how they move, how their cultures and stuff like that. It's like I embrace it like almost like how you embrace cousins you meet as an adult. Now some people's like, oh, I ain't grow up with them. It's cool. But for me, I'm like, if my mom say, oh, that's such and such's kid, whatever, I'm like, okay, you my family. So, I'm treating you like the ones I grew up with. And
Mhm.
so I like every now and then, the what I mean, put on the Africa because it's like we ain't start with the chains. Like we didn't start with the chains and the whips and all that stuff that we see, from the Roots and from the different movies. Like that's not where it started for us. And
That's pretty much just paying homage.
yeah, but just to connect back because it's like that's not where we started. Like you ever see the movie Creed?
Hmm.
And I don't want to lose nobody with the reference if they ain't see it. But Michael B. Jordan played the character that pretty much his dad was Adonis Creed. And he didn't know that his dad was Adonis Creed. But basically, you know what I mean, his dad's wife came, got him and all that stuff. And it was like there was a sense of like wanting to connect back to what he never knew and kind of like that's kind of how I feel when it comes to the culture. It's like, yo, we didn't necessarily just start with, what I mean, what we see. And so I think sometimes in my own, culture, sometimes where you see so much of a loss of identity is I feel like because a lot of that was lost through slavery. Like, you know what I mean? People we survived it, right? We still came out, we still successful in a lot of stuff, but it's like if you go to reach back further, it wasn't, you know what I mean? It didn't start, the genesis of it didn't start with slavery. And so,
So question, the oldest family member that you know of, where do you know of like their roots, where they're from?
and that's the thing. Like it don't, to me, the roots don't go that far for me. Like
Mhm.
I, I got, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got the picture of my grandmother, my maternal grandmother. I have a Bible for my paternal grandmother. Um, but I don't really know like oh, if we was to stand back, our people came from this place, and this is where we, you know what I mean, we held from and all that stuff. Like I don't know, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, know that. So
But I mean, a good reference point is just even where they were born. If you know that, you can kind of start
a
going
lot
on.
of family that like I know a lot of my family migrated from the South. On my maternal side, on my paternal side, they migrated from the South. But I was talking about reaching even further.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you gotta start off
Yeah,
somewhere.
I know that part, but I guess for me, because as a child, like, so if you look at me, you can see how, dark I am. Like, as a child, right? When people said, oh, you look African, it wasn't a compliment. Like, when the way they were saying it, they weren't saying it in a positive way, right? Honestly, I feel like people ain't even really embracing like real chocolate people until like the Tyrese's and the Idris Elbas and all them came out. That's what everybody started to, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
Lord.
You start or love chocolate stuff. But not seriously, like you seen Jungle Fever. Wesley Snipes was like, growing up, you hear every black joke. It was like, but other people be so fascinated with your skin and all that stuff. Like, you saw that movie, right?
A while ago. You know.
The Spike Lee classic. Spike Lee, he on one. But seriously, I say all that to say, like, people I feel like didn't even really start embracing the African culture as being like connected like to us and be, like being, I guess, really, really, really proud of it. To like probably Black Panther and stuff came out. Then it was cool to, you know what I mean, really kind of associate yourself more. I mean, correct me if you
I
if I'm
mean,
wrong.
it it's some people. It depends on, where you grew up and
Yeah, it depends on the person.
that dynamic.
I'm sorry.
No, I said that dynamic and where you grew up. I know a lot of people who were always hip, but some people, they were kind of distant to what was going on. They just worried about what's going on in the present.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and like I said, I feel like it all kind of connects in a way. So it's funny though, because I don't dress like this every day. But when I do put it on, go outside or something, you always got somebody saying like "Keep T'Challa" or something, and I laugh or something and just hit them with the, you know what I mean? That's what they associated with.
Ah, that's hilarious.
So I do that. But nah, seriously, all in all though, I feel like a lot of a lot of the identity of like our people, we kind of made the best out of it. We always, find a way to make a best out of it. But I don't like thinking that okay, everything started like just thinking about everything starting, with our people in chains, like in this country. So when I do that, it's like, nah, we got a deeper connection. And people that say, um, oh yeah, it's not all people that say that, but some people say, oh yeah, only reason that people, have Christianity is because they were, taught that slaves, which they may have been taught that as slaves, but it's people in Africa that are Christian and that, whether they come here or whether they're there and they learn it. So it's not necessarily like, oh, this is just like we just got it from slave owners type thing. Cause I don't like when people say that either, because I feel like that's a misconception. But yeah, so it's a lot for me that goes into it. My biggest thing now, though, my mindset now is like time is everything. My faith has taught me to be more ambitious than anything. Like I'm more or less on like how can I be a light to as many people as possible? Like whether that's not just financially, mentally, spiritually, anything. Like how can I be a light to as many people as possible? Because I don't think God put any of us here to just blend in and to just fit in and not, I don't know, make a difference. Some people are cool with it, but I'm not, I that's not where I'm at with it.
Okay. So if you were to leave the audience with just a quote to live by every day, what would that be?
Um, Listen, 2023 has been a year. Buried my father earlier this year. Got a divorce this year. like life for everybody. Do not let nobody or nothing, no situation, steal your joy, steal your shine. Like as long as you got breath in your lungs, like you up, like you still winning. Like this year is still a win. For me, it could be a win for you. Like I don't care what situation you run into, like it's never a reason to tap out. It's never a reason to check out. Like even if you down, you only gonna be down as long as you want to be down. Like it's too much life in you to ever check out. So it's not really a quote. It don't sound pretty, but it's life for everybody. You
That's
gotta
good.
keep pushing.
Nice. So thank you for coming on. Is there anything else you want to leave with?
Um I don't know. Find me on Instagram.
All right. So how can they find you on Instagram?
AJ underscore follow God first. AJ underscore follow God first underscore. I think that's my name on Instagram and TikTok.
You
I
say
think.
thank.
I think. I'm
All
new
right.
to
Well, they'll try to do that one.